Yo, what's up everybody? Back with another day of showing you how I am going to build today's food plan so that I can make sure to hit my calorie goals, my macronutrient goals, my proteins, carbs, and fats, all that exciting stuff. Going to show you how I'm putting together today's plan. And today I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm doing essentially a plan in real time, meaning that I'm not going to build my plan at the beginning of the day. I'm actually going to build it as the day goes, depending on what I eat, and going to try to see if I can hit my numbers by the end of the day. Secret, it's the end of the day and I hit my numbers. So that's the plot ruined, essentially. I just spoiled it. But I'm going to show you how I did this. Do me a favor, though, as usual, if you find these videos to be helpful, please hit the like button, maybe even the subscribe button. I do this specific type of video every single day. My thought was, look, if I'm going to be doing this myself, why not record it, throw it on YouTube, maybe help some other people figure out how to do it themselves. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my app here and hit the record button. So I have a three-step process whenever I do that. Well, actually, let me back up for a second. So usually I make my plans in the morning for my entire day. The reason I do that is my days just get busy. I don't have time to dick around with my app and doing too much with it or think too much about it throughout the day. So for me, building it early helps. But days like today, it's a Saturday. I didn't have a lot to do today, so I had a little bit more opportunity to sort of like eat sort of what I wanted to eat throughout the day and track it and keep an eye on basically how it ended up. And that way, by the time that I hit the end of the day, I could sort of manipulate my final meals based on what I still needed to hit based off of what I ate earlier. So it was sort of this real time. Instead of doing it at the beginning of the day, I really kind of did it throughout the day as I ate. So I have a three-step process whenever I build these. The first is I always put in my staples. It helps me get started. It's the same thing every single day, which is my pre-workout and my post-workout meal. And the reason I do these first is because to me they are the easiest because they're basically the same thing every single day. I'm not changing them like a meal. And so every single day it's some sort of combination of a whey protein isolate drink and some sort of carbs on my post-workout. So as you can see here on my pre-workout on my app, I got the scoop of the whey protein isolate, and then I've also got a little bit of carbs there in the form of raisins for a little bit of pre-workout boost. And then on my post-workout, a very similar meal, which was the whey protein isolate again, which is just the powder you throw in the drink, and then the Haribo gummy bears. My kid actually asked me, he's like, why are you eating gummy bears? Those aren't healthy for you. And actually, so I tried to explain to him the numbers. The carbs on these things are actually pretty great. It's like 22 carbs for just one serving, 0 fat. So it's a nice sort of post-workout boost. Some of those carbs hopefully will turn into some extra energy. I do that within 30 minutes of working out. So I do those first, I add those in first. It just gets the whole thing started for me. So second, what I'll do is I'll ask myself, is there anything specific that I want to eat today? Like, what am I craving? And I want to make sure to try to add those things in whenever I can. The reason I want to do that is because, especially right now, I am in a cutting phase. So I am restricting my calories. I'm restricting how much I am eating every day. But I don't want to feel like I'm going nuts, like I'm losing my sanity because I'm like not being able to eat what I want to eat. So I try to fit those cravings in at any given time. Today just happened to be a day that I actually had something to add on here, and it's the chocolate with fudge drumstick. It's this little drumstick of ice cream. So my kid had another friend over yesterday, and they were eating them, and I thought, man, that looks good, but it wasn't on my plan yesterday, so I didn't do it, and I thought, I'm going to put that on my plan tomorrow. So I've added in the drumstick, and I'm very excited. Actually, that's the last thing that it's like 10 o'clock at night. I still have to eat that, and I'm very excited. That's like the last thing I'm going to get to eat before I go to bed. So I put that in there. That's my second step, is get in your cravings when you can, just for your mental sanity's sake. Once I do that second step, if I've got something to add in, or if I don't, once I'm done with step 2, I go to step 3, which is do my meal, starting with the first meal of the day. So my breakfast, what I did this morning is I ate some liquid egg whites. I went with 1 cup. I threw some sliced corned beef from the deli on there, some fat-free cheddar cheese, which is the first time I've been using the fat-free cheddar. I've done mozzarella in the past. And I threw all those in a skillet and just heated them up, put a bunch of garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper, and made some sort of like Frankly, it was a messy omelet, what it turned into, but it was delicious. And then I had a cup of the bone broth, the chicken bone broth, which is what I've been drinking as of late. So a nice sized breakfast right off the bat. Again, I didn't track this first, or I didn't make my meal first. I made the meal and then I tracked what I ate, and that's kind of how I did today. But the numbers on that meal looked great. Only 1.9 grams of fat, almost 60 grams of protein, so really awesome numbers there. So then I went to my lunch, and what I did here was a bag of Quest protein potato chips. I've been putting those on my meal lately because they've got a really nice macronutrient profile. I did 3 ounces of deli turkey, 2 slices of Ezekiel toast, and you can see where this is going. This is going to be a sandwich. More of the fat-free cheddar went on the sandwich, and some turkey pepperoni. I threw that on the sandwich too, put it on the sandwich maker, and made the bread turn into toast. It melted the cheese. Oh, it was just delicious. So a nice melt sandwich for lunch with the potato chips from Quest. So a standard sort of like summer type of lunch, I guess you might call it, but overall only 8 grams of fat, another 60 grams of protein. So I've started off my 2 first meals really good, which is part of the reason I get to do the ice cream at the end of the day. So the dinner, what I did here is I went with a cup of Bush's fat-free baked beans. They taste just like regular baked beans. They're awesome. So I did a cup of that. I did a wrap, and I put some more corned beef onto this thing, sliced corned beef. I had it this morning, had it again in the evening. Put some hummus on there, which I've been trying to work into my meals. It's just not been easy because it's kind of high in fat. And I want to put a little bit of Greek yogurt on there too. That's the fat-free Greek yogurt, the plain stuff, but it's 0 fat, which is awesome. And it reminds me of sour cream. It smells like sour cream, and it's very weird. It's almost like it's sour cream. So I had a wrap for dinner and the baked beans. Again, sort of similar to my lunch, which is sort of like a summery type of dinner. Very basic, just a wrap, some baked beans, and it was a good dinner. Only 8 total grams of fat, another 42 grams of protein. I really did good on my protein on my first 3 meals. And so after all that's said and done, I had room for more snacks. I already had added in my what is that thing called? The drumstick. That was already on there, and I still had room for more. So what I've done here is I've got 1 sugar-free frozen fruit bar. You can see it's 11 grams of carbs, 0 protein, 0 fat, just a nice cold snack today. I got 2 links of beef jerky. I've actually realized when I do the beef jerky, I was using the wrong macronutrients. So I've actually put the new numbers in here, and they're way better than I thought they were. So I actually ended up adding 2 of those today. It's a lot of beef jerky, but that's okay. There's my drumstick. I got 1 peanut butter chocolate chip Quest cookie, another sweet snack fit in there. And then I got I still have to eat this today. I just realized 1 serving of flavored Greek yogurt. I still have to eat that. And so it ended up really good. Now, one of the things I did want to point out here is if I go to my pre and post workout, I put in 1 scoop on both of these on the protein. Previous days, because I have not got as much protein on my meals, I've had to up this from 1 scoop to a scoop and a half or a scoop and a quarter. I've been really trying to get away from that, though. I really have been trying to add in more protein to my actual meals and not be relying so much on the actual whey protein powder. So I've done that today. Everything turned out great. If you look at my overall numbers here at the top, it says 221 total calories remaining. That is 221 underneath my ceiling target, which is 2,700 total calories. So that means I'm right around 2,500, just barely under 2,500 calories for the day. I don't want to be more than 300 under, just because the way I've calculated it, that's too much, and I'll start burning up some muscle there. But 221, even with all those snacks, even with the drumstick, I'm still under my target for cutting by 221 calories. So the day ended up being really nice as far as the overall calorie target. The protein, I had 8 grams left to basically max out, but because I'm not necessarily trying to max out, that's okay. My fat was the highest that I had left, as you can see here, 12.7. That's how I want every day to be. If I can, I want my fat to be the highest one still. So this ended up being a really good day. I'm excited about the drumstick. I was excited about the omelet. I was excited about everything. It's just a different way of doing this. Now tomorrow, because it's Monday and I'll be back at work, I'm not going to be able to do it this way. I'm going to have to build the entire thing in the morning and then eat based off of that so that I don't have to think about it. But today was just something kind of, I said Saturday, today's actually Sunday. So today was just something kind of interesting, a new way of doing it. There's a lot of different ways to build these plans. Do whatever works for you, whichever allows you to be the most consistent on every day. For me, I use an app called My Macros Plus. It does all the math calculations for me, and it helps me to stay on track. So anyway, speaking of on track, I've got a drumstick to eat and apparently some more yogurt. So anyways, thank you all for watching. Appreciate it. Thanks for all the comments that you guys leave on the videos. We'll see you on tomorrow's video. You guys have a good one. Thanks.